paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Brainstorm Brewery, your number one place for all your most up-to-date magic, finance, and news, magic lifestyle news, magic podcast news, and the podcast that listens to you. You make this podcast possible by going to patreon.com/BSB, and that is why, loyal listeners, here in the post-episode 500 world, we are bringing you what you want. The segments you have
that
asked
is
for.
half a camera shot of Corbin's bathroom.
That's right. Check it out. This is a day in the life right here. That's right. We've got a great episode planned because we're going to bring you all your favorites. It's going to be some hits from the past, from the vault, you might say. It's going to be fun as Jason pours himself a beverage, it looks like. So we're off and running. Welcome into Brainstorm Brewery, everybody.
Is this really what we got to do to people?
Yep.
We made it 500 episodes. That's quite a feat. Would have been an excellent time to stop forever. But like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, every week I awake to fresh hell.
You got a 4th of July off. You got a chance to celebrate. Did you do anything fun for the holiday? This is with your dad energy, Jason. This has to have been a big one for you.
With my dad energy, I was forced to grill. I did not want to grill. Yeah, I went to my mother-in-law's house. I didn't go to my mother-in-law's house where my brother-in-law was there so I could grill.
Okay.
That seems like a job for my mother-in-law's actual kid. But I was conscripted and I did all the grilling.
Does your mother-in-law's kid have kids?
No, he sure doesn't.
That explains it, Jason. You have that you exude that big dad energy.
I was wearing my Guy Fieri Fire Crocs, and I think that I was...
You're not doing yourself any favors.
I think they saw my outfit. They saw how I was dressed, and they're like, here's a guy who wants to grill.
Well, you dress for the job you want to have, you know?
They handed you a spatula like it was an episode of SpongeBob. It was in like a golden case.
But I mean, Jason, you grilled and you liked it.
That's beside the point.
Okay, true.
So, while we're talking about this is the podcast that we listen to our listeners or something. I don't know what the hell Corbin said, but like the point is, I have an idea. I'm an idea guy, and this is some content that I think you will all want.
Can't wait.
Would you guys want to see Jason teaching me how to grill on like a Twitch stream or like a YouTube video? I think that's excellent content.
DJ invents 2018 Twitch.
DJ invents that movie where Michael Keaton died and he made videos teaching his kid how to do shit.
That's a country song.
I'm sure it was a Michael Keaton movie first.
I think that's excellent content. Listen, my neighbor right now across the street put their old grill out onto the curb, presumably to take for free.
Yeah, if it's on the curb, that's
yeah.
Right,
it's on the curb. You can take it.
Yeah,
if you go back to the back of their house and grab their grill and put it by their curb, then you can take it.
DJ, you could get a grill. Jason could teach you to grill. What would you teach him to grill first? Where do you start a young Padawan in their grilling journey?
Something you don't care about.
It's got to be corn, right? Like a vegetable or like asparagus.
Asparagus.
I did. That wasn't an accident. I just fucked that one up. Good job catching it. Asparagus. Is it asparagus or corn? Is that step one? Is it?
No, man. It's gonna be a real forgiving protein with like a giant range of acceptability. Like honestly, steak is a good first thing to learn how to grill. Because like you can make a steak not perfect. You can even botch a steak, but like I would have to stop paying attention for you to ruin a steak.
Here's how, look, I can give you a way to start. Cooking my steak, I like to think, is fairly straightforward.
Corbin looks like a guy who thinks that he likes a well done steak.
You take the steak, you put it on the grill, you count to 10, you pull it off, and then you feed it to me. It's pretty easy. Anyone who eats a well done steak deserves to be, I don't know, like
It really depends on the
something
steak.
bad.
I'm not eating your average steak blue. I prefer something dry aged or something with like not a ton of muscle, more fat. Ton of marbling, you can get away with that, but like if you've got a lot of marbling, why would you not want to turn all that fat and collagen into a delicious liquid?
Listen,
You know,
This
we
all
have
does
a-
sound pretty good, I'm not going to lie.
We have a butcher shop that we have driven by probably 1,000 times over the course of living here for 1 year. And we've never set foot in it. We probably should.
You drive by it 3 times a day. That's a lot.
Me and Emily combined.
In my opinion. Oh, okay. Yeah, you should give it a shot. I mean, look, it took us a while, but at some point we took the plunge into, hey, we're going to go buy, like fresh steak or whatever from the meat market down the street.
We're the last generation of human beings that gets to eat cow.
That's,
So
at least
I'm
in the
taking
recreational way, where you can just go down the street and buy it at reasonable prices, maybe. Is it because the cows are farting too much, Jason?
Well, just the environmental cost of cow is just terrible. And
Don't you
it's
think
not
they'll be
sustainable?
able-
We can't scale up the.
Don't you think
amount.
they'll be able to Jurassic World fartless cows soon?
I don't remember in Jurassic World where the cows didn't fart, though. I remember the cows getting fed to dinosaurs.
You haven't seen Jurassic World Dominion, clearly.
Good point. Good point. I haven't seen it. I can't verify that there are no farting cows in that movie.
No, it's no farting cows.
So the fact, the total absence of farting cows in that entire franchise leads me to believe that they did, actually.
You haven't seen Camp Cretaceous. I bet you haven't even read
Camp
The Lost World.
Cretaceous? Is that like a Netflix show for children?
We did have this discussion a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
That's-
It is,
okay.
in fact, that, Jason, yeah.
Jeez.
So I just want to say, you are not one to speak authoritatively about the presence or lack thereof of anti-farting cows in the Jurassic World franchise. However, I'm just saying that as a blueprint for real life, there could be solved with technology of no farting cows.
Oh, we have the technology. Don't feed them corn. There, I did it.
You know, you've surpassed my
Don't
scientific
feed them
knowledge
corn.
on the
We
subject.
there. Are we going to
What
do that? Nope, we're not. We're
I
not
don't-
going to feed them corn. We're not going to not feed them corn. We're going to continue to feed them corn, and they're going to get sick. So it'll be like, oh, the cows are sick from eating nothing but corn. Let's give them human antibiotics and just.
I
make
have
the
no
world a
idea how
terrible
much of this
place.
you're making up.
No, it's true. All of it is true.
Well, that
They're
was
ruminants.
depressing.
They have
Thanks,
multiple
Jason.
They have multiple stomachs. They are designed to digest tough grasses, but we don't let them. We feed them corn and lysine because that gives them all the amino acids they need to get gigantic.
And that is the point being made by Jurassic World Dominion. And in this essay... All right, it's time to move on. It's enough of that. It's enough of preaching to you about the science.
I'm sure none of that makes the cast.
I hope all of that makes the cast so that everyone can see me teaching Jason about science, so everyone can witness him learning something. With that
is what
said,
happened?
it's time to move on to the first segment of the show. It's time to break bulk.
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, breaking bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
I have a Jumpstart Blue reprint.
That's not how this works.
What is the rarity?
Uncommon.
Is
And
it a
what-
pirate?
It is not a pirate.
And what, pray tell, was it originally in, DJ?
I've given you so much information and you beg for more.
It's a blue uncommon that's not a pirate. Wow. That's it. He just stops.
It's
Cool
not a
with me.
creature. It's not a creature.
It's not a creature or a pirate.
What do you want me to give you the flavor text too? Like I'm shelling out just
In-
Yeah, dude, give us the flavor text if you think that would help.
I'll give you the artist. I'll give you.
I'd like all those things. Yes, please. I'd like the country of origin.
God, I do so
What
much.
is this, the Scripps spelling bee, Corbin?
That's what I was going for, yeah.
Is
That
this
thing you can win
is
if
it
your
reprinted
parents-
in Jumpstart, or was it originally in Jumpstart?
That
No,
thing,
it's a reprint in Jumpstart. Like, it was originally printed in something else, but if I give you the other set, it's too obvious.
And
the
it's not a
Scripps spelling
pirate.
bee where they put
Is there a
what is it,
pirate
like-
on it?
75
Yes.
kids whose parents don't love them up there on stage.
Is the word
Absurd.
pirate on the card?
No.
Is the word pyra on the card?
You gotta stop.
No?
Is the word piracy on the card?
No.
It's not coastal piracy.
No.
Oh, I thought I nailed it.
No, when you said, is there a pirate on the card? And I said, yes, I thought you were going to get it, but no, it's not it. There is another non-creature from Jumpstart that is a reprint that fits this criteria. And the fact that Jason continues to make well-educated guesses means that Corbin's not pulling his weight right now.
Is it chart a course?
No.
Is it words of wings or whatever?
Corbin, I thought, would get this because I'm pretty sure this is a Pioneer card.
It's not a creature. So it's not Spectral Sailor.
Nope.
Dude, this sucks.
I really wasn't listening. It's an uncommon blue jumpstart with a pirate in the art.
Correct.
How do you know that they're a pirate?
By their hat, their outfit, and their behavior. They appear to be looking for something in the art, following a treasure map of sorts.
Oh, Curious Obsession. God damn
Yes, it is Curious Obsession, originally printed in Rivals of Ixalan, a card that recently spiked to like $6.
That's like a $5 card right now, yeah.
Yeah, it is enchanted creature gets +1/+1. It has whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. At the beginning of your end step, if you did not attack with a creature this turn, sacrifice Curious Obsession. So it is a card that is commonly used in cheap, aggressive blue tempo decks where you just suit up stuff with this and ride small creatures to victory while protecting them counter spells. Very
Yeah, Autumn
Delver-esque.
Burchett, that Terramander deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they pioneered like this in Standard a couple years ago, and I can only assume this is a Pioneer spike because that just seems like the home this card would have.
Well, you never know, man. Anything's possible. Bans in alchemy. What's next?
Corbin's our Pioneer expert, and he's oddly silent.
Corbin, tell
I
us
mean,
about
that's
Pioneer.
that's not just a pioneer card. That's been a
It's
card
not-
in
It's
a
not
lot of different
quite
formats.
good in
really.
Commander.
No, I mean it was a thing in Modern for a while. It's a thing in several different arena formats. So the card's just good for sure. I didn't put it together that was. If you told me Rivals of Ixalan, you're right. I would have gotten it, but not or Ixalan, whichever one it was. That block, but not from that clue.
It was the one that looked like the steering wheel on a pirate ship.
All right, I'll go next. This one is not tricky unless it is.
What does that mean? you can't call me cryptic and then pull that Riddler bullshit. Like, what is...
man.
This one is Schrodinger's pick. It is both obvious and impossible to guess.
Speaking of Riddler, I gotta say I was a fan of that movie. It's available on HBO.
They made a Riddler movie?
Yeah, bro, the Batman.
We're not responsible for shilling for HBO. We have
We should be.
We only have 5 sponsorships in this podcast, and HBO is not one of them.
My favorite
Yes.
part of that Batman movie was how the thesis of the movie was that Batman's really terrible at being Batman.
Yeah,
He
I
just spent
liked
the
it.
whole movie sucking at being Batman.
It was awesome.
Was good.
It was a good movie. It's a red common from Strixhaven.
Is it that burn spell? Is it first day of school?
Nope.
Does it discard a card and draw 2 cards?
Nope.
Corbin, you hesitated.
I had to
Why
read
did
it, but no.
You had to read it. This
got
is
a
my
lot of
pick.
words
I don't
on
know
it.
what it does, but I
It's got a
know
lot
what
of
it
words.
do.
It's got a lot of words on it, but it is not those words.
Is it technically from Strixhaven Mystical Archive? Are
Nope.
you doing... Okay.
You would do some shit like that.
I might. DJ really would, but I'm not. It's a red common from Strixhaven School of Mages.
Is it played in anything?
Yeah, Magic the Gathering mostly.
Oh god, eat a butt. Is it the Dragon's Approach?
It is Dragon's Approach.
There you go.
You see, it's easy unless it isn't. Because
That's
it's the
a good
only,
point.
It's the only common worth any money.
I would have been
Strixhaven.
furious with myself if I had tapped out and you would have told me Dragon's Approach. I would have been mad at
That was a
myself.
good guess.
So you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good pick.
I did not... When I think of Dragon's Approach, I don't think of Strixhaven. I don't know why.
Cool.
I mean, I understand where you come from, DJ. It's like this weird, dragon card in a set that I guess had dragons,
Exclusively 5 dragons.
but yeah, and yeah, it's just not. You think of the school thing, not dragons, but yeah. All right, Jason, you're up.
I have a card from Origins.
Go on.
I gave you so much information. You're begging
Oh
for
my
more.
God.
It's a blue uncommon from Origins.
Psychic Corrosion.
It's not. Psychic Corrosion was from M19.
Oh,
Also, this is not $5 like Psychic Corrosion. This is $3.
Why am I blanking on the Origin set symbol?
It's like the thing. It looks like a sun with a bite taken out of it.
Is it the blue mill card? The blue uncommon mill card that was played in standard for a hot minute? Maybe. With a name that I can't remember.
Does it have a milling mode? Yes.
Something about when you draw cards, people mill.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be more specific. I'm gonna need the card's name. Sphinx's tutelage, baby.
Oh,
Sphinx's
yeah, of
tutelage.
course.
Yeah.
Psychic Corrosion hit $5, I think, like on the basis of I don't know, what's his name, Bruvac and stuff like that.
I was gonna say it was on the basis of there being 7 copies in existence.
Yeah, that's a good point, and nobody bought M19. Sphinx's tutelage, I don't think much Origins got bought either. I think people.
No, that's why
They
one
bought
of the
that to get
reasons I
Jace,
collected
and that
it.
was that set's kind of really weird.
Well, that was an interesting. I drafted a bunch back then, and that set was sort of. Core sets did some weird. For people who want to play Magic, then core sets did some weird stuff. I came in around M10.
What they wanted for the core set was it to be like, we want staples and we don't want to print these in that. We don't want to take up our design space in our expansion sets, giving you Lightning Bolt. So they would always have a legal core set. So it's like, there's your Llanowar Elf, there's your, blah, blah, blah. And, that was fine for a while. That was fine for a long time.
Until it wasn't. I came in around M10, Magic 2010, which was infamous for being Bane Slayer Angel set and $50 Wallet Slayer Angel, and
I think M10 is more famous for revamping the entire rule set of the game, right?
Oh my god, M10, they're like, this is what a core set can be. There are mythics in here and they are worth buying. Like M10 was the first core set ever that was worth buying boxes.
They got rid of Mana Burn in the same
yeah,
set.
it was the reimagining, right? It was the rules update coupled with this is what core sets are now. They have new cards in them. They're not just reprints. And oh, by the way, here's what Sarah Angel could have always been or whatever, right?
But they gave us...
They juiced the set. It was...
They gave us...
But that lasted for a couple years. That's the point. And then they get to...
Was it Baneslayer M11?
No.
You sure?
Positive.
And that lasted for a while. But then you get around to Origins. And they're like, well, that was boring. So now we're doing Magic Origins. And not just core sets with new cards, because that only lasted a few years. Now we got to do super exciting new things, and each of them has to have their own flavor and their own theme, and that's where we got the Flip Walkers, which went on to be very expensive cards and very difficult to reprint for a long time. And then they were like, just kidding, core sets are dead entirely. And then they were like, just kidding, core sets are back. And now it's just core sets are dead again, but also they're not, because Battle for Baldur's Gate and Adventures in the Forgotten Realms are supposed to be core set level. Or maybe whatever this, but that's the point. it's weird. They have a set that's supposed to kind of fill that slot, but they've just gone back and forth. So yeah, the history of the core set in Magic is long and not very happy.
Sounds fraught. Yeah, stuff's real weird out here, man. It's they really don't know what they want to do year to year, but like, I don't know. They seem to pivot from bad ideas, at least. Sometimes they pivot to a worse idea, but at least they're pivoting.
Yeah, I mean, in there somewhere they also changed the block model 2 or 3 times, changed rotation twice.
The rotation change was the most cowardice thing that WotC has ever done. Maybe. There's a long list, but like that.
I understand your point.
Changing standard legality after 2 years worth of design and planning so that certain sets wouldn't interact with each other, and then going like, meh. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, this is Magic History Night, I guess, but at the time, there was a lot of fatigue over the 3-set block model for several reasons. Wizards was wanting to push more product, and people would just buy less of a 3rd set. It made designing more difficult. It might have made storytelling on this sets better, but it made designing them difficult mechanically, especially, and you really have Magic trail off in the back half of its year, which would be spring. They decided that one of the ways they were going to fix this was moving to a 2-set block model and having rotation twice a year, but with less rotating each time to keep it more fresh. And that seemed to most of us, I think, to actually be a pretty good solution. But I don't know what happened where, but whatever data Wizards got on it was strong, because they reversed course on that within like 6 months. And like DJ said, just kind of threw standard into chaos, and they were like, people hated it so badly, I guess.
How bad did they hate it?
Or stores did. Someone somewhere did not like it to such an extent that caused them to monumentally reverse course. And now it's relevant because we're in a time where people are complaining about how, we're just so much. It's part of there's so much product conversation is you can't really get to remember a set, and you see a set for 1 minute, and then it's blown up in the same set over the course of a week preview season, and that's it, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of just sort of tension around that they've addressed in the past, and let us hear, and maybe we'll have it addressed again in the future and see if they come up with something better. That's a fun one. All right, well, it's time to move on. It's time to bring back a segment that everyone's asked for, and by everyone I mean a couple people, maybe 3 of you out there have asked for this or something. Sudden Substitution. Let's go.
Doing a segment just for 3 people.
3 of those people can suck it.
For those who don't know, Sudden Substitution is a segment where we take an expensive Magic card, this week, the Great Henge, and give you some budget solutions to run instead. Because as we all know, the Great Henge is a very expensive Magic card. And as powerful as it is, you can get a lot of the effects of it in a way that doesn't cost you $50, or in a way that doesn't immediately have the table trying to kill your big play either. So the Great Henge is on the chopping block this week. Sudden Substitution. Jason, let's hear it. What do you got?
My pick is a card that functions similarly. It gives you a little bit more mana and sometimes more cards. If what you want is more mana, more cards, and you don't want to spend $80 or whatever the Great Henge costs these days, a card that I've liked since it was 50 cents is Regal Behemoth. Regal Behemoth doubles your mana when you're the Monarch, and it makes you the Monarch, which draws you cards. If you're doubling your mana, you should be able to stave off attacks from the rest of the table. And if you got a big old creature like Regal Behemoth, you can probably stomp back at him and get that Monarch back. So Regal Behemoth is a card that introduces the Monarch mechanic into a game, which I think more cards should do, and it accomplishes a lot of what you can do with a Great Henge at a fraction of the price, plus keeps the game fun by introducing the Monarch subgame. That is my pick. I love it.
Yep, certainly a more budget option. DJ, what's another choice people can look at?
So when I think of Great Henge, I think of making more mana by playing big creatures, and the biggest creature that I've always played in Commander for a very long time that makes more mana for you when you untap with it is Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger. It is not exactly a fun Commander card for the rest of the table like Regal Behemoth may be. Other players may not like you as much for playing Vorinclex. And other players might not realize that Vorinclex is no longer $25 or $30. It got a couple reprints recently with the Secret Lair versions, and so now it's like $10. It's much more reasonable and affordable. It is 8 mana, whereas I know Great Henge is 2 mana or whatever. It's $50 for a reason. But Vorinclex is something that you can untap with in your big green decks and just continue to pump out more mana while strangling other players' mana.
All right, I'll round it out with Zendikar Resurgent. So this is a similar card in the sense that it costs a handful of mana. I mean, Great Henge costs, hopefully you don't want to pay a lot for it. You want to just pay a little. But Zendikar Resurgent costs 7, and it functions similarly. It'll give you extra mana. In fact, it'll give you more mana than the Great Henge. And every creature equals another card for you. So while, it's going to always likely cost more than Great Henge, there are certain situations after a board wipe or whatever where they're going to cost the same amount of mana anyway. But regardless, Zendikar Resurgent is going to be a really great way to accomplish everything you can do with a Great Henge at, again, a fraction of the cost. All right, that was Sudden Substitution, everybody. And we want to give a shout out here while we have a moment to our sponsor, Coalesce Apparel. I've been rocking basically nothing but Coalesce shirts. DJ's got his. Yeah, I've got between the Ristic Study shirt I've got and some of the others, as well as the BSB gear. I've realized that, my event attire is now just all Coalesce stuff. I went to a a modern event last week. First time in a minute. I played in the store and was rocking the Coalesce shirt. So go check it out. You can use the gift code Brainstorm Brewery, and that can be used for anything on the website, including apparel merch of not just this podcast, but any podcast or any content creator represented on the website. Go check out Coalesce Apparel.
I do want to congratulate. Hang on.
Yeah, you're good. Are you gonna do a Cedric shout out
For the 100K?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, JJ, can you pull up the Cedric tweet here that DJ is about to reference?
I also want to congratulate Cedric and the team at Coalesce for reaching 100,000 US dollars in sales over the course of this year, which is monumental considering Brainstorm Brewery was roughly 99,999 of those dollars. That's an incredible ratio that you guys were able to help us support. All of that money basically came from you. It went to them. It went back to us. It's a nice big money circle that you just love to look at it like a koi pond in a Japanese garden. And like it just feels good to just see that money go into everyone's accounts individually, and then it goes back to you after we spend your Patreon money frivolously on neat little trinkets and stuff. It's just congratulations, Cedric Phillips, on 100K sales. I will be seeing him this weekend at SCG Syracuse and saying hi, and probably picking up another piece of branded apparel for my wardrobe.
There you go. If you're at SCG Syracuse, go say hi to both DJ and Cedric at the Coalesce booth. All right, moving on, because this is what we do on this podcast. It's time for everyone's next favorite segment.
Wait, Corbin.
Yeah.
I have another sudden substitution. I forgot one. I forgot about another sudden substitution, another excellent replacement for the Great Henge. It's the Great Henge. I know a lot of people think that the Great Henge is a $50 card, and it is on TCG Player. It can be even more some places than the United States open internet market. You can find it cheaper elsewhere. And that brings us
go on, DJ,
to Finance 101.
Oh, the segment of Finance 101. I love this segment. That was a great well, this is what I've learned. I'm going to compliment your transition so that in return, my transitions will be complimented. So, DJ, I think that you did an incredible job there, and that was very clever wordplay, showing your true professionalism and really just skill at your craft.
It's people debate all the time on whether or not it's like nature, nurture, talent versus hard work and sweat. And I think it's just both. I'm just incredibly naturally gifted and just work very hard to get where I am.
Yeah. Jason, you're nodding the head in agreement. That makes sense to you.
Am I nodding my head in agreement, or am I like getting a little woozy because it's hard to stay awake?
Hard to say. Why don't you tell us about this Finance 101 topic then? Arbitrage. What is the concept of arbitrage?
DJ had a whole thing ready, and he told you that, and you threw it to me to what exactly?
I'd like you to give us the basic definition, and then I'd like DJ to go deep.
Arbitrage is a 2006 movie starring Robert Redford, I think.
Good.
No. Sorry.
Is it? I hope it is. I really.
Yeah, there is a movie. There is a movie
DJ,
called
you're the one
Arbitrage,
who has to go
sure.
deeper.
For sure. Now, arbitrage basically is exploiting an inefficiency of the market. When there is somebody who is willing to pay more for a card than somebody else, you have an opportunity. Now, it's a little tougher in Magic when the people who are buying cards don't value them at retail. Their margin is built into paying what the buy list price is and selling for retail. That difference is their margin, but sometimes the difference is negative. If somebody's overpaying or somebody's undercharging, you have a chance to buy cards for $2.50 and ship them to Card Kingdom's buy list for $3.50 in credit. Sometimes it's even better than that. Sometimes you can go to Japan and get EDH cards and then flip those in the United States to grab like legacy staples and take them back to Japan and just exploit the fact that there's not a good way to trade cards between those two markets on a massive scale. Sometimes you can buy cards cheap on Magic Card Market and, sell them to a buy list. But even though a buy list will like pay 60% of what a card's worth, there are still some times where somebody's selling so cheap at retail, you can actually sell it for more than you paid. And just that difference is your profit by exploiting an inefficiency in the market. It pays to pay attention. It doesn't always work out like that. And sometimes arbitrage opportunities are so small that like fees wipe out your potential profit. But sometimes you can make a decent amount of money. And I used to get everybody's buy lists when I would go to GPs, and I would see what people are overpaying on, and I would just go look in the cases to see if I found copies of that card for cheaper. And sometimes you would. Sometimes you would make like $1 a copy just running a card from one booth to another. Sometimes it's $2 or $3, but like that's just free money. So
yep, that's sort of the famous example for sure.
Yeah, that is the concept of arbitrage, where you can buy a card for less than you can sell it for.
Yeah, so I mean that's like Jason talked about at events. That's sort of the that's a thing, right? I don't know how often you find it now, but it exists, especially with some dealers at live events paying so close to retail on certain cards.
And the reason I actually wanted to bring this topic up today is because the Japanese yen compared to the US dollar is the weakest it's been in a very long time. A couple years ago, if you were buying cards in Japan, you basically had to account for like maybe a 10% discount on the conversion rate. You're like, okay, I'm spending like 1,000 yen. That's like roughly $9. Right now, it's even better than that. So if you're on a Japanese website like Haruya or Tokyo MTG or something like that, you can buy cards very, very cheaply compared to the US, as if you know what cards to buy. I brought up the Great Henge earlier, and that is because after the conversion rate, if you want a normal Throne of Eldraine Japanese foil on Haruya, the conversion rate roughly averages out to about $25 a copy USD. So for a Japanese foil, if you're going to slide that in your deck, you might not sell it, and then you're not technically doing arbitrage. But if you want a Japanese foil for your deck, you could get it for significantly cheaper. You don't have to play a Regal Behemoth or a Zendikar Resurgent. You could just play the normal copy by exploiting an inefficiency in somebody else's market. Like normally non-English cards don't sell very well if they're commander versions, but I mean, if you're willing to read the card and know what it does and just have experience in Magic that way, then you can absolutely play a lot of non-English cards in your commander deck, and you can pay a lot less for them overall.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, I mean, that's one of those things people don't necessarily realize is the intricacies of the Japanese to United States market, and that's more than we're going to get into here. But
well, I mean, there's some intricacies in buying with Card Market or Haruya and stuff like that. But if you're U.S. based and you want just a one-stop shop to buy cards from, one site that I've had a pretty fair bit of success with is called Card Trader. It is possibly, fingers crossed, a viable competitor to TCG Player in the global market coming up. Fingers crossed, I've been burned before. But this is a program that is worldwide, and it's basically, you can buy from Card Trader. You can buy from sellers that cross-list on multiple platforms, and you can have all those cards sent to one location. And then once you're ready to get them in the mail, you can have all your packages stored up. And it's kind of like TCG Player Direct in a way, where you can basically just buy cards from Italy, you can buy cards from the US, you can buy cards from wherever, and then they will all get sent to one warehouse. And once you're ready, you buy those cards, and there's a threshold for free shipping, and then you get them. The big downside, of course, is that you might have to wait a while to get them, because they're coming from Italy, Spain, Japan, wherever. But Card Trader so far has been a very, very good way to pick up non-English staples, or just cards that are priced differently based on the different marketplaces they're in.
I wasn't aware of that one, so that's good to hear. I mean, you know, the like you said, the competitor to TCG Player thing is, I don't know if anyone's ever actually pulled that off to the extent that maybe we would want, but hey, any competition is good competition, especially when they're offering a service like that that's you know, something that's kind of niche. It's a lot easier than having to have the old go-between, right, where you just have to find a friend in Europe to just ship you stuff back and forth, right? That was the old way.
You can buy on Card Trader as a normal account, so you can just like buy your cards and then have them shipped to you, or you can buy on Card Trader Zero, which is their direct version. So if you buy from Card Trader Zero sellers, then those Card Trader Zero sellers will get their package together once a week, like a TCG Player Direct RI, and then I ship my Card Trader Zero reimbursement thing to them, to their warehouse, and then they will send out all of the packages that I sold from to their appropriate buyers.
Nice. Okay, well, there you go. All right, well, it is time to move on to everyone's favorite segment since the last segment. What's it worth?
Are you prepped for this? Did you look up? Someone's got a.
All you have to do is know what a card is worth, Jason. It's easy.
So we quiz each other. We all have to have a what's it worth pick. I don't remember how we played this game. It was 8 years ago.
How about I just quiz you on some what's it worth, the two of you?
Yeah,
Sure.
okay. But then we don't get your expertise, Corbin.
That's okay. In this case, I think we can just all agree that my expertise would be overkill.
I think everybody, yeah, right? It's not a game if you're playing. Good point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are you?
He's he's looking up something.
All right, here we go.
Oh,
Are
boy.
you all ready for the first what's it
What's it
What's it
worth
worth?
in 7 years? We stopped playing this game for a reason.
I've got a theme on the cards we're going with here. First one up, unlicensed hearse.
It's like
12?
our TCG, or is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I mean more.
TCG
Sure.
market.
8.
Okay.
I know it went up, but I don't know how far. I want to say 12, just accounting for some increases after I stopped paying attention.
Audience says this is where you supply your answer. Audience at home. Good one. Except for you, that answer was shit. The correct answer is $14. By the way.
I was very close.
Yep. $14.
Yeah. There has to be a card worth money out of New Capenna.
There is a last sold listing on TCG Player Direct for $29.93 for a single near mint non-foil copy.
Whew. I'm very glad that I paid we talked about it on this podcast.
Cass
don't I
called it
sell
at
it
like
direct?
2.
Cass talked about that card. You're right.
It was Cass, yeah. Cass was
and I
all
went and
over
bought
that
a
shit.
full art foil for my commander deck to crew my Archulos. That's how much I liked it. All right, next one up. There are lots of versions of this card, but sort of the baseline price here. Cabal Coffers.
20? Maybe 17. Maybe it dipped.
I was gonna say 17. I was gonna. Why don't you say 20 plus, and I'll say under 20.
I'm not as confident in 20.
Okay, 18 plus, dude. I'll take the under on 17.
Okay,
If you want the over. That's how confident I am in the number 17.
that's fair. Okay, I'll take 18 plus.
Yeah. So I'm the one who doesn't want 18 plus. Is that what you're implying on my own podcast? I'll take the under on 17. Sounds really bad out of context. I admit.
The answer is $17. I'm just going to stop you all. The answer is $17. You both were pretty good on that one. Jesus. All right, next one.
The card is 17.
Next
My
card,
gosh.
foil copies of Little Girl. Let's go.
Her
Next
daddy
one
says
up.
it's too cheap, but she's expensive enough for me. All right. Winger.
Shall
You guys
I?
know Winger? Kip
No.
Winger? Huh? 17?
No.
From Guitar Hero?
No.
All right.
Shalai, Voice of Plenty. What's it worth?
Shalai. $3.
I was gonna say like 5.
You're both wrong. It's $4.
God damn it. DJ, you could have said more than $3. We're letting Corbin get free points here. Come on, man. Tighten up.
All right, we got a couple more. Next
How
up,
does Corbin lose points in this game?
and we're all winners here, okay?
When I
Except
guess
you
a
at
card
home
is
who got that
exactly
one wrong,
$17, and then you think it's also 17, and then we both look awesome.
That's true.
All right, this card is Nyx Bloom Ancient.
24.
What's it worth?
I'm gonna. It's a theme, but I'm taking 23 or lower. A Nyx Bloom Ancient. I don't think it's going up right now. 23 or less.
Jason
You know
on
what?
23 or less.
No,
DJ
21,
on
21 to 23, and if it's
I
outside
was
that
wrong.
range, you can call it a loss. Yeah.
Okay.
DJ, you look it up.
Yeah.
The answer is $18. $17.89.
Yeah, so if I'd been off by $5, if I said 23, I was like, I was closer. I'm glad I said 23 to 21. That makes me feel better.
All right, we've got just a couple more here. I think 2 more. Next up, a favorite of Jason's and our editor, I know that, JJ, Dranith Magistrate. What's it
7.
worth?
8. Oh no, on
I
TCG
just
player like 690.
DJ
or
was
something
pretty
like that.
confident on this one. It is 7.
I
just
figured I
realized-
just
I repriced this card
just
today.
saw it.
Like,
I
Yeah,
just
good
saw
for
it
you.
in a list. It was like 683 or something like that on TCG player.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, final one. Giada, Font of Hope.
2
4.
somehow.
Yeah, 2? Wow. I mean, I know what the somehow is like.
Yes,
There
it
are-
is 2.
Better looking versions for people to actually spend their money on, and this is just like,
Maybe? It's $5 for the
It's
other
an-
version.
yeah, exactly.
Actually, it's not. It's like 3.
This card
Two.
has to be $10 in a year, or I don't know.
It will
what's
be.
going on.
So the theme for anyone scoring at home, the theme to all those cards are picks of the week that Jason and DJ have made in the past couple months.
Oh. Ooh.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't.
I
Why is
didn't-
know
Unlicensed Hearse on there then?
because it was. Well, I guess that might have been my pick. Yeah, that one was mine.
Oh, that was yours after Cass came on the. Oh, all right. You're so smart.
Well, no, I mean, I called it out at the time and gave Cass full credit. But yeah, that was actually kind of fun. All right, moving on to everyone's favorite segment. But before we do, we have to give a shout out to everyone's favorite sponsor of this segment. It's mtgstocks.com, proud sponsor of this podcast, one of our favorite websites across all of not just Magic, but the internet, because I like spreadsheets. I like numbers. I like making money. And MTG Stocks is good for all of that, especially if you use the premium section of the website, which will give you access to alerts. It will give you access to better inventory management. It will give you access to all the information you need to stay ahead on all aspects of the financial side of Magic. The tools there and the data that they're drawing on is just unparalleled. That's why we use it for everything here on this podcast, from our picks of the week to checking our breaking bulks and bringing you our information. So mtgstocks.com, go check out the premium. All right, next up, it is time for everyone's favorite segment before their next favorite segment. It is time for Pick of the Week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
All right, I'm going to hop in here, talking about cards that we think are at their bottom, kind of like Giada. I think Go Shintai of Life's Origin, the mythic Shrine Commander out of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. I like this because it has bottomed out about 5 and has climbed to about 6. It almost got to 5. It's climbed to about 6 over the past couple weeks. That to me looks like a card that's probably near bottoming out in price. There's actually just the 2 versions of it. There's the regular version and the full art version, which is about 8. So take your pick of those in Kamigawa. But this is the Shrine card. And whenever they go to do Shrines again in 5 years or whatever, whenever we go to Kamigawa for a 3rd or 4th time and we get our next iteration of Shrines, it's not going to push this one down. It's just going to make this one go up in price, even if they give you a new fancy Shrine Commander. So I think Goshen Tide of Life's Origin is at its bottom.
That is a brave pick.
Well, if you like Shrines, and I think we'll get Shrines again in the future, it's going to work out one of these days. And if not, you just hold it till it does. Jason, that's a little nugget of wisdom I learned from you. What is your pick of the week?
Why is Sire Stagnation below $5?
Because it's mean.
Have you read Sire Stagnation?
Emily's played that in her mill deck for years. And by that, I mean she's had it in her mill deck, but she's never played her mill deck in years.
But I mean, I feel like they're giving us stuff for it.
The Sire Stagnation is mean, man.
I feel like Captain Nagathrod and Tasha the Witch Queen are both big fans of this card. I don't know. I run this in Tasha. Tasha is a really fun deck. You get to play another Origins card, Talent of the Telepath. I don't think that's going to go up, unfortunately. Talent of the Telepath, every time I play it, people want to read it, and then they want to read it again, and then I get them with it, and they're like, that's really good, and then it's still $1. So I'm not capable of making good cards that only I know about expensive. I'm just not. So get your Helms of Possession, because they'll never be worth more than they are right now. But if we buy all of them, then eventually the price might go up. So,
hey, Jason, you want to hear this? You want to hear something funny?
I want to hear something hilarious.
I just read Talon of the Telepath for the first time, and my first reaction was, hey, that's pretty good.
It's so good. But it can't be my pick of the week, because even at $1, it's never going anywhere, and I don't get it.
I don't know, man. It's at its all-time high.
That's Tasha, baby. Yeah. You reveal the top 7 cards of the library, and you can cast an instant or sorcery among those cards, unless you have Spell Mastery, and
you get 2
then
of
you
them.
can cast 2 instants or sorceries.
Of the top 7 of someone else's library for 4 mana.
4 mana.
Yeah, that is, I mean, look, in a format where people play Expropriate and whatnot, just getting one of them is absurd. Getting 2 of them, which is trivial. Feel like I'm going to have to find one of these and throw it into my Keranos deck. It's a fun one.
Especially if you can copy this. So,
sure.
Not to get distracted, Sire Stagnation is my pick.
All right, DJ, what do you got?
Mine is a decidedly boring one, but among all the crazy, powerful, cool reprints in Double Masters 2022, one of them that is less noticeable, I think, is Blood Artist. A perennial $5 card going down to 2 again, and it'll go back to 5 because it's Blood Artist, and that's what that card does. It may get lost in the shuffle among Double Masters drafts. You might be able to pick up a batch of bulk commons and uncommons and find one because people picked the rest of it and didn't realize that it was still money.
I'm headed to draft it this weekend, so I will be on the lookout.
I expect Blood Artist to be not $2 for long and go back up to its 4 or 5 heights.
Yeah, I mean, Blood Artist always cycles in and out of modern combo as well in those Abzan type decks. So it always has a competitive pedigree backing it up, in addition to, it's all over the place in Commander, of course.
It's got a borderless version in Double Masters too, but like...
Ooh, that's pretty neat.
If you're picking like a $5 borderless one or like 2 of the $2 ones, then I don't know.
Just get them all. I didn't realize. I hadn't looked through all of them, I guess, yet, but I didn't realize there was a full art version. I'm looking at it now. It's some interesting art. It is, in fact, an artist drawing with blood. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Not my favorite.
I guess that makes sense.
It's not my favorite. I'll say that. But it exists. If you like that, apparently, maybe I'll draft one. Who knows? All right. Well, before we get out of here, there's one thing we have left to do. And if any of you at home can guess what it is, I'd be happy for you. But you can't, because it's a surprise segment. That's right. We're ending the show how we began the show and how we did the middle of the show and how we did the in-betweens of that and how we did second breakfast. It's time for another segment. This one is a From the Vault email.
This is the segment all about how Corbin didn't read your emails and he got blown out. So if you transcribed a set review, too fucking bad for you.
Alright, onward.
From the vault. If we didn't read your email, don't blame Jason all.
No song? You got no song for us, Jason? You got one job. It's to be the song.
I think JJ recorded the song and...
Yeah, the song. He's just going to play the song, man.
I just needed to hear it live. That's like you don't go see a band to hear a recording. You
don't go see...
This is a recording.
But not for me. And not for you.
Corbin doesn't go to see bands to see recordings. He goes and see bands, then doesn't say that he went to see the band.
Why would you lie, dude? Why would you lie about seeing Imagine Dragons in concert? I don't get it. What do you gain from being a liar?
I love Imagine Dragons.
I know, man.
That's all I got to say on the matter.
Corbin's my enemy. If you need to know one thing about this podcast, everyone wants to be Corbin's enemy, and there's a fucking reason.
It's funny because I know he's vaguely referencing an Imagine Dragons song, but despite being the
super fan,
what do you mean
vaguely? It's like the only hit song they've had ever. Like, they play it at NHL games. Like, it's not a vague reference. Like,
the only hit song they've had, really?
Ever.
Do I need to pull up their discography right now? DJ, how dare you discount the League of Legends song, because I know you were into that.
Oh, he was!
That's the worst League of Legends World song by far.
And yet, you were into it.
No.
You watched that little anime video and you were like, holy shit. Little 16-year-old DJ was like, holy shit, this is so cool.
2014 was 8 years ago.
How far off am I? Like 2 years? A year? 6 months?
So I was 20.
God, that was scarily close. You were definitely into that song when you were 20.
It wasn't a good song. I wasn't.
Yeah, you were. Jason, what do you think?
I heard it once, man. I'm not.
Jason says you were into it. You're outvoted.
Oh yeah, was DJ into it? Oh yeah.
Yeah, 2-1.
Because he was like, Imagine Dragons sucks, but that League of Legends song is actually pretty good. He phrased it like that. He wasn't like, Imagine Dragons is lit. He was like, despite it being Imagine Dragons, that song's pretty
That
tight.
was his pitch. That was his pitch for getting on the show. And I was like, I love Imagine Dragons too.
Mm-hmm. So you saw him in concert once.
I was on BSB in 2014, Corbin. Is that your
You can't ask me about years like they mean anything. What the hell?
I'm
not
aware
fair.
that time moves differently for you, Gandalf Greybeard, but like,
You can't like shame me. I don't know. Were you on this podcast in 2014?
No.
Was I? Was Jason? Was there a podcast? Was there a magic? Is there a future? No one knows. Jason says we're all living in the 2023 water wars. So like, whatever, man. It's just a year. It's just time. All I know is
this
I read
podcast
your
is going to be crazy during the
read
Water
your
Wars.
application letter. It mentioned the Imagine Dragons
application
thing
letter.
Legend.
Pull it up
Pull
from
it
the
up.
vault. Pull it up from
You're
the vault.
no.
From
You're
the
right.
vault,
We do.
From the vault. He can't find the email and it's his fault.
I'm gonna go read.
Open
from
up
the
your
vault
Dell
email.
laptop from 2006 or whatever, because years don't
It's
matter.
Air gap. It's air gap for security.
How old my computer is ain't nothing but a number.
All right, this email comes to us from. Oh, this is a pretty recent one. Tuesday, February 17th, 2015. Which is a short 7 years ago. This one comes to us from Peter Schwegel, who says, "Hey, Brainstorm crew, fairly new listener here. I've been going back and catching up on all your antics on my daily drives. As someone who prides themselves in being a from-scratch competitive rogue deck builder for Modern, I was wondering what cards each of you wish were played in Modern or reprinted for brewing plain stake in newer formats. Keep it up, Peter."
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I was looking up current events in February 2015.
Ooh.
He says, "I forgot to mention my personal favorites are Mare of Averbrook, Trigon Predator, and Havengul Lich."
All those are excellent specs. Man, Obama asks Congress for authority to fight ISIS, February 11th, 2015.
Okay.
Obama's executive action on immigration is blocked, February 16th. FCC votes to regulate internet surf. Man, we had it so good. We had it so good.
We had net neutrality then. It is 2015. It's February. That means it's my birthday soon. And to celebrate, I'm going to listen to the #1 song on the radio by famous artist Mark Ronson.
That can't be a last name.
Ronson.
You know what it is, right, Jason?
Mark Ronson? No, dude.
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's been a minimum of 4 weeks at #1.
My name's
Was it-
Ron Ronson.
I'm the son of Ron.
Featuring Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Uptown Funk, gonna give it to you.
Oh no, that song's bad. I heard a white guy sing that at karaoke and it sounded like a country song. And I
No,
was
actually,
upsetting.
Jason, I remember you saying that song was good. Right, Corbin?
Yep.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Oh, did you get outvoted? Were
How...
you outvoted by the council about a
Take
song
me
you
to-
didn't like?
There's 0% chance. I bet if JJ went back, he could find what you said. He's not going to find me saying anything about it. I don't want to hear it.
Still in the top 5 here. Take Me to Church by Hosier and Shake It Off by T Swizzle. So, you know, 20, that was a good year. It was a good year. 2015. So I got to say, in the year 2015, what cards do I wish could see play in Modern? I'm going to say Birthing Pod. Splinter Twin?
Was that banned yet?
Is it too early to say
In
Splinter Twin?
2015, I hope that Wild and the Cattle sees play in Modern.
I think
They
Bitter Blossom
unbanned
was
Wild and the Cattle, and they're
Yeah.
gonna regret it. You know what? Bitter Blossom, I'm glad it's banned. If they unbanned Bitter Blossom, it would ruin Modern entirely. I'm happy with the ban list as it is now, actually.
Birthing Pod was banned in January of 2015,
Oh, so right on the, yeah.
along with Dig Through Time and Treasure Cruise at the same time. That was when they unbanned Golgari Grave Troll.
I can't believe they ever thought Golgari Grave Troll needed to be banned.
I mean, they printed Hogak.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, it's back on the list now. It's back on
Yeah,
the page.
like
What do I wish
But I'm talking
Modern-
like I was in 2015.
Yeah.
You know what?
Modern 2015. Siege Rhino. I wish that card was playable. Jeskai Ascendancy.
Splinter Twin was still legal, by the way.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought Twin went before Pod.
I'm looking at
you
it.
must be.
No, I'm looking at deck lists from August 2015.
Wasn't Splinter Twin a day one ban? Because I thought the meme of unbanned
No.
Splinter Twin was a day
No.
one thing.
Oh,
Twin
God,
was
no.
around for a few years.
That's
Yeah.
miserable.
It broke the community when they banned Splinter Twin, man. It got leaked on MTGO.
Oh, and
Those-
it was
that doesn't mean anything though. They've leaked on MTGO before, and it was like nonsense.
No, it was.
They've
it was
like banned Snapcaster via MTGO or whatever. Like that's never been a reliable.
I just.
You know what sucks? I was
I
working on
remember
polishing a
following
tweet
it.
where I was making the perfect joke about them banning something in alchemy, just as a joke.
Unlucky. Murderous Cut was played back then, y'all. As was Lingering Souls and Spectral Procession.
Well, wasn't it in just
Remember
in
that?
Tassiger?
I
Was it
still
not
pull
this was-
Lingering Souls out of
Murder
bulk. I still pull Lingering Souls out of bulk.
And it feels
I do
so
too.
bad.
Is that
It feels so bad.
Remember
You refused to
Spectral
accept
Procession
it.
was a pick, and now
Yeah.
even Lingering Souls isn't?
Yep. You refused.
Craziness.
This was black-white tokens at the time. Let's see here. What else?
Remember the
There's some-
$75 black-white tokens event deck?
Oh, I bought Card Kingdom out of those so many times.
Oh,
So
yeah,
many
because you
times.
just buy those
Jace
for seven.
Arc-
It's
J-
$95 worth of singles, like, right out of the box.
Jace
on this
Architect
stuff,
of Thought was played.
Yeah.
I bought that modern event deck and then emailed Card Kingdom and asked to mail it to their buy list because they were paying more for it sealed than they were selling it for, or they were buying the singles for more than they were selling the sealed version on their site. So I just asked to I was like, hey, can you just open these and put them in the buy list for me, please?
Boggles was played. Doesn't look all that different.
Storm,
Yeah.
Past the Flames decks.
They were all Eldrazi back then.
Oh, that was Eldrazi Winter too, right? Like it was.
I don't know when this would have played into Eldrazi Winter exactly. I don't remember, but there do seem to have been some Eldrazi running around then.
It might have been the year before that was Eldrazi Winter.
Yeah, that's
2015.
probably true. Anyways, y'all got to say it was some fun times back then.
Right,
So
because Battle for Zendikar was before Cons, right?
Was any of
No.
this episode good?
Cons
Some
was
of it
before
was.
Cons was before PFC.
Was this a good episode, listeners?
It was hit or miss.
I don't know. Once JJ
This is a
edits
hit or
it-
miss podcast.
Once JJ edits it, it'll be amazing. But I think it'll be amazing anyways, Jason, because when the three of us record a podcast,
It's magic on the mics, baby.
the end result is
It's magic.
typically amazing. So thanks for
you,
tuning in, everybody.
For $0, get to hear this podcast.
We call this the ending segment. The outro is how we define this segment, I believe.
That's where we remind
on the
you to go to
spreadsheet.
patreon.com/BSB, where for as little as $1 a month, which is 20 or 25 cents an episode, you can have access to the Discord. The Discord is the best value in MTG Finance. You
And
can
for
engage
$2
with
a
us.
month, you get to have a better Discord role and let everyone know that you are not a 25 cent an episode, or you are a
50 cents.
cent an episode baller.
Just let everybody know. Dunk on everybody. Give us $2 a month and you can have a different color handle in Discord. And that's what we want. We want you to let everybody know that you're better than they are.
Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for listening to Brainstorm Brewery. As always, you can find us across the internet, Brainstorm Brew. You can send us more questions at brainstormbrew@gmail.com. Let us know what you thought of our segments. We'll see you next week.